comes to mind?
I mean, the immediate thing that comes to mind is that it's the longest rivalry in Division II football. I grew up real close to Topeka, and so it's an important game to me. It's a game that we haven't lost since I've been here, and so I'm really excited to get after it on Saturday.
What is it going to take from you guys to win this game?
I think just putting together 4 quarters, being able to execute as far as on the offensive side of the ball, starting fast and being able to sustain and finish drives.
Do you feel like this is one of those matchups that, regardless of where the teams are in the standings or how the last month have gone, you guys get a little more dialed in for?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we could come in here as 2 undefeated teams and treat it the same as if we both came in as winless, just because of, like I said, how big the rivalry is. So.
Anything else you want to say about the rivalry?
I
How close do you live to Washburn? You said you.
My high school was about 20 minutes from Washburn. I grew up going to all their camps and stuff. Got recruited by Washburn, so yeah.
Do you know some guys on the other side? Does that kind of make it a bigger rivalry?
Yeah.
Because obviously, you can see them and you'll have the upper hand.
Yeah, absolutely. I played a bunch. I played against a couple guys that go to Washburn that are from my league back home. So it's definitely cool to be able to talk about beating them in high school and then also competing against them in college and beating them. So
Washburn coming up. When you hear that, what comes to mind?
Well, first of all, I was recruited by Washburn out of high school, and that's just a big deal for me just because it came down to Washburn and Emporia. So when it comes to Washburn, I mean, it's always a big game. Last year I remember it being a big game, and so I'm excited for it.
What do you feel like it's going to take from you guys defensively to come away with a win Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to have to be physical. They have a physical O-line, and they have big backs, so we're going to have to stop the run, and yeah, that's the main thing, I think, and then the back end will do their thing, and hopefully we can take care of business.
What do you like the most about the way the defense has been performing the last couple weeks as a whole?
I think just our focus each week going into it. We've just maintained like a elite level of focus and executed our game plan pretty well throughout the entire course of the game. And honestly, I think the biggest difference the last few weeks has been on special teams, just that hidden yardage. Last week, I think Mo West had 10 more yards than us on offense, than our offense did, and they beat us by 28 points. So I think that hidden yardage is a big deal for us.
In fact, you get Washburn on your home field. Does that raise the stakes or the pressure any?
Yeah, definitely. You always want to win at your home field, so that definitely raises the stakes. And we always want to beat Washburn too, of course.
With this being a rivalry game, have you seen a different attitude around here? Talk in the locker room, anything kind of firing up this team?
No, it's been pretty much the same approach throughout the week. We try to approach each week the same way with the same mindset. So it's been a similar approach as the last 8 weeks.
And with you being, you said you could have went to Washburn,
Mm-hmm.
or where were you? Where was your high school?
Silver Lake.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay, very cool.
Yep.
You probably know a lot of guys there.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have players from Silver Lake, I think, that they play on there, right?
The last one that was there was Pete Fanasteel.
Okay,
and he was my brother's best friend growing up. So going there, he actually hosted me on my visit. So turning them down was pretty tough, but I felt like this was a better fit for me overall. And I played with a few of the guys in the Shrine Bowl that play there now and start there now, Brooks Peevler and Jacob Anderson and Will Jones. So there's a lot of ties to this game.
You guys been jawing a lot back and forth then?
No, I haven't talked to him actually, but I plan to talk to him after the game and catch up a little bit.
Can you talk about how big this rivalry is after? Because obviously you're going to meet him and have to talk with him, go back to Silver Lake,
Yeah.
who's on top.
Yeah, it'll all be in fun and good fun, but yeah, it'll definitely carry some bragging rights.
Washburn week coming up, Coach. I know you've been involved with a lot of these games. What are some of your best memories from this rivalry?
Well, one thing, when I was here, the first 2 years, they were still in our conference, which was the old CSIC, and then they broke off. A lot of teams in that conference course broke off and went Division II. We stayed NAIA. So I had 2 years of it. The one thing I remember is when I was a freshman was sideline. I was over there, not amongst it, but the sideline brawl. I remember that, and some crutches being raised up in the air with an injured player, and it was pretty. It was pretty intense. And I also remember we went there my sophomore year, and it was a shootout. I think it was 50. I don't know. It was in the 50s. I think they beat us by 3 points, and Coach Kramer's definitely upset after the game. I think he broke his toe kicking the Gatorade jug. And I remember Troy Slusher, I think was his name, the receiver they had. I'm always a name guy back in the day, just remembering players who I thought were really good. And he had a big day against us. We lost a close game. I know Coach was mad, and for some reason he didn't want to lift the jug up and throw it. He decided to kick it and broke his toe. So I know his feelings. I know how he feels at times.
Last year, a game that went overtime, your guys found a way to win it, and it seems like your team has had the advantage over the last couple of years, but every year it seems like this is a dogfight.
Yeah, it is, and last year we were kind of on a little bit of a roll last year at this time, and we also come off a tough loss at home against Missouri Western, and I remember last year we had 2 turnovers inside the 10, and Justin Brown did a great job as far as blocking their field goal, and then we're able to send it into overtime, and we ended up getting a win. But it's always a very competitive game. I think it's fun. I think rivalries are fun. Everybody has them, whether you're in high school, college. I think that's something special about college athletics. So yeah, we know it's going to be another great game. It's both teams that have really been, I feel like, kind of identical as far as been in a lot of games, had opportunities to win games, and just didn't get it done, and lost close games. So, that's the thing about it, is I think both teams are very good football teams. So it makes for a good football game.
Is this one of those meetings that, regardless of where the teams are in the standings, whatever is taking place, that maybe the stakes or the intensity elevates just a little bit?
Well, I don't know if it necessarily elevates anymore. I think for the most part for us, it's just, I'm sure for them too, the MIAA is such a grind in itself that each and every game you should be ready to play. And, it shouldn't be like, okay, one game, we're not as ready because we feel like we can beat them. No, because that's when you end up getting beat. So every game to me should be the same as far as your preparation goes. But just the aspect of play, the history of this rivalry, and the different stories that have come about in this rivalry, and not only in football but just in other sports as well, I think is awesome. And but I know their guys over there will be ready, and I know that our guys will be ready to play too as well.
Maybe not so much about elevate. Can you just talk about, you guys have won the past 4 Turnpike Tussles? Can you talk about how much confidence that has in the team? Because a lot of these players have done it.
Well, yeah, they have, but I think, I don't know, right now our confidence may not be as good as it needs to be, just because we're sitting where we're at, record-wise. And so I don't know, kind of going into this game, I don't think that's on anybody's mind, to be quite honest with you. And if it is, it shouldn't be, because every year's different, and we've won a lot of games. So our confidence level right now is probably not as good as it's been in years past. But we got to figure out a way to fight through that. And again, our guys have done a great job. They do a great job each and every week of coming to work and preparing. And everybody's frustrated. That's part of it. And it's about competing. And I know that our guys will do that Saturday.
And with a rivalry, is this what the team needs? Fire them up?
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, honestly, when you're setting, you begin to look at a lot of different. That's the thing about it, is that when you're winning, a lot of times you don't see some things that maybe you're making mistakes on because you're winning. But when you're losing, man, you really turn over every rock, and just to try to figure out a way to make your team better. Everybody, coaches, players, all that. So yeah, maybe it is something that we need. We're back home. We haven't played really well this year at home, so it'd be nice to to get back home and to play Washburn and, hopefully come out on top. I mean, that's what our guys need. It always, regardless of your record, anytime you win, it's going to make you feel good. And it'd be nice to see some smiles in the locker room.
And on that note, what do you think is the biggest thing that needs to change too?
Well, I think that for us, I feel like our guys. I was a little disappointed last week, really about our performance, but for the most part, I think for us is just being more consistent offensively. For one, where I think we look really good, maybe for a 7 to 10 minute stretch, and then it's like we're sliding back down the mountain a little bit, and so I think that's been something that we got to get corrected, and maybe that has to do with some confidence. We are playing a lot of young guys over there on that side of the ball too. I think that field position has been huge, especially in our losses. So we got to play better. Special team, we got to play better on special teams. We've had some unfortunate turnovers this year that I think we've always been a team that has done a really good job of protecting the football. And I think that it's not like we've had a bunch of turnovers, but I think it's when we get them, during whatever, third, fourth quarter, that's led to the other team scoring that, in the fourth quarter, could have caused us to, at least add to part of losing the game, So that's kind of where I see the things that we need to change at. And then we need to continue to play at a high level defensively. And, I think we get those things kind of corrected and hopefully that's this week, and kind of get back on track a little bit.
Thanks so much.